podcast with your host with the most, Tony and Lavelle. Every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock Dead P. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. Too Many Hats Podcast.
Top of the morning to you, my good people. Happy, beautiful Monday. It's a beautiful Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day, man. And hope you guys are remembering all of those who have gone before us and laid the foundation and made us who we are today, man. So happy Memorial Day to you all, man. It's your host with the most, Tony Mays, the best author, with our special guest today again, Mr. Marcus Young. Man, give it up for Marcus this morning, y'all.
Man, I don't feel like a guest no more.
Huh?
I don't feel like a guest no more.
Oh, you don't feel like a guest no more? Well, you know how it is, But you our guest,
Yes, sir.
yeah. We ain't gonna trip. You our guest. So this is crazy because a lot of times, man, when we come up with these topics, half the time I don't even come up with these topics. These topics are inspired by other people who send them to me through videos, or Monica Mays, who always have a good topic on her, she always sending me something. But this topic, Monica actually sent me this topic, and I kind of just changed it up just a hair. But she actually sent me a list to go along with this too. And so I've been trying to for the last few seconds. I don't know, Facebook trips so bad sometimes, man. Like it's really hard to get what you need to do on Facebook, especially with these lives, because they be changing up. I don't know if this happens to you, but you could be watching a live, right? And then you hit something accidentally, and you try to go back to the live, and it keeps showing other stuff instead of what you're trying to see.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I don't know if I thought it was just a me glitch, but apparently it's not. Because it happens on any pages that I go to. So I definitely know that it just ain't me. So that's cool. But yeah, so here's the question. Let me go back. What are some silent habits that destroy relationships or marriages? I thought this was really, really good. And right while we were just kind of getting on this morning, you and I was talking prior to us going live. And right when we started talking, I had something to pop up on my timeline from Mr. Redwell. And Alan Redwell Jr. And he said effective communication is a major part of leadership. And not only is it a major part of leadership, it's a major part of communication. Relationship. So if you don't have great communication or know how to effectively communicate in a relationship, it's a wrap. You're gonna have one very toxic relationship if you don't know how to communicate in your relationship. But anyway, I got a little list here. So first of all, let me ask you, Marcus. Marcus said he ain't a guest no more. He's like, I ain't no guest no more.
I'm a guest. I just don't feel like it. I feel like family.
So,
Mr. Sutton.
What do you think are some silent habits that can really destroy a relationship or a marriage?
Man, first First thing is when you sent this over, I was like, man, it's good. I told y'all it's like therapy coming here talking about these different topics.
Right.
As soon as I saw that, I mean, it is the communication and the how you communicate, because you can say one thing in a different way, and it can be especially be taken a different way, especially with men. I know you can say something that's true to me, but if you say it the wrong way, you know, especially, you know, my woman, if she,
Right.
anybody really, but if you come to me, it's like I don't hear necessarily what you're saying. I'm hearing how you saying it.
Right.
With that said, too, one of the habits, bad habits, I'm picking on my wife a little bit. I do it a little bit too, but one of the habits, I'm peeking around the corner, see if she's listening to me. We done talked about it a million times, but one of the things that she does is we've been together so long, she be finishing my sentences. And it'd be irritating the mess. I'll be like, let me finish what I'm saying. You keep finishing my sentence. And
Right.
it feels like, you know, like a respect thing as a man. It feel like what I got to say don't count. You just cutting into it and fast forwarding the conversation. But let me finish what I'm saying before you cut me off. And I know you know what I'm about to say because we got all the same stories after 25 years, but still listen. To me, listening is like respect. You know what I'm saying? You want to hear me out. But when you cut me off and just fast forward to something else, I don't like that at all. And that'd be eroded. It makes me want to not say nothing at all. And I know they ain't the best route, but you can't talk it out and you can't make adjustments after talking, there's something wrong.
Wow. Wow.
That's a pet peeve, bro. I don't like it.
I don't have that issue, but I have talked to people, both men and women, who have stated that that's an issue. And I, you know, like Monica, we don't finish each other's sentences, but it's almost like we be on the same wavelength. We be thinking the same thing. Like just like last night, we was laying in the bed and I was sitting there thinking about, man, I need to go on, you know, come up with this topic for the morning and blow so we can get on in the morning. And so while I'm thinking it, she said, I'm going live in the morning, huh? And I was like, man, it's scary. Like, going live, what y'all topic gonna be? And I'm like, girl, who are you? And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just like we on the same wavelength. But I can see how what you saying can be a real live problem. I don't hear the echo, but somebody says they hear the echo.
I hear it.
I think it's gone now. Yeah, I think it's gone.
What about now? Can y'all hear it?
Yeah, I think it's gone now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Rodney says having someone else's voice outside the home carry more weight than your partner is an issue. Woo. Man, he can't just swing in the back this morning.
Hey, big bro, I love your new hat, man, but it just seems like your hat is not right for our topic. I can't take you serious. I'm just
Okay. Okay.
I like that red brim too, Lavelle.
There we go.
Okay. How about now? Are you cool now? What about now?
I don't know who I'm talking to.
2 men in a hat.
Yeah, it was like you were talking your head was doing this.
I can hear echo now though.
Do you?
Yeah, a little bit. It
I
ain't
don't
bad.
have one.
Yeah, it ain't
Okay.
bad. Yeah.
All right.
So that's heavy right there though. That's tight. That's really tight right there. That's different than what Marcus said though. That's, you know, I mean it's kind of the same, but it's different because Marcus saying that she just finishes his statement before he finished, and he feels like, oh, you just cut me off to get to something else, and that ain't cool. But this man said to have somebody else's voice outside the home carry more weight. That's no.
I thought it, and when I first read it, I was thinking like, another male or female, but then that could be your mom,
Yeah.
It be
some kind
any-
of, yeah.
Anybody.
yeah.
Especially
Now
in
it's
church, you have these ladies allow their pastors to say, "Well, my pastor said, well, your pastor is not this pastor at this
Mhm.
house, player pimping."
yeah, it's
Mhm.
one thing. It's one thing to have a person outside your house, like a parent or sibling or friend or something, kind of dictating what's going on in your household, or they word is carrying more weight. But if you got another male or female, like, oh, that's
First of all, why they know what's going on in your household?
that means cause you talking. That means you
Mhm.
over there talking, sharing everything that's going on within your household, and that's a killer car crutch right there.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me? What Mel say? Happy Monday, my peeps. On the grad as usual. Lord Tony got that hat back. Hey, yeah. She called me a bobblehead. All right. Yep. You don't want to go down there. Mel said being set in your own way, selfishness, and poor communication. Yeah. Being set in your own way, I think is a silent habit that destroys relationships and marriages. Because that means you so set that you just, ain't no compromise, ain't no nothing. You just, it's my way or the highway. And I don't know too many people that's gonna just sit there and be like, okay, I don't have an opinion, I don't have a thought, it's just your way or the highway. And if you're in a relationship like that and you sitting there taking it, run.
Right.
You know.
I pulled up Chat GPT. Man, Chat GPT be having some interesting things on it.
Yeah.
And one of the things they
And
said,
that AI overview, boy. Woo.
come on. And one of the things they said lack of active listening, just nodding your head, but not, it says nodding along, but not really hearing or engaging with what your partner says, interrupting or dismissing their concerns, even unintentionally. And I think that's what my wife does. She doesn't do it intentionally,
Right.
but it happens.
Right. I just think like come on, well let me go to the list, man, because silent habits destroy your marriage. It says marriage. I do relationship because it could be a relationship. And when I say a relationship, I'm talking about not just one of those things where you're just together. I'm talking about like a friendship relationship, period. Some of this stuff can be applicable to just a relationship, not necessarily a marriage or a close, partnership relationship. But avoiding tough conversation. If you got somebody, man, that you with, or a friend, whatever, and they can never talk about the things that you guys need to talk about because they avoiding it for whatever reason, that could be a real issue. That could be a real issue because you want to talk about everything but what's important to us. It's kind of like what you said. Like you can be making a real important statement that you're trying to make, right? Because you're leading to something, you're going to somewhere. Then you say your wife jumps in and cuts you off and jump to something because she know where your conversation may be going or what that thought is going. So I don't want to deal with that right now. So let's just talk about the kid. Let's talk about girls. So I can really see how that can really be applicable to your situation because it's like I'm deflecting because I don't want to talk about that thing you want to talk about. Because that thing you talking about is gonna bring up some flaws in me, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want you talking about my flaws, addressing my flaws. So avoided mail said this is good. I'm trying to screenshot that just. She said she's trying to screenshot it. Screenshot it, the mail. Post this in the group, please. All right, I will. I'll post it in the group.
And you need to have them conversations, them tough conversations, because everything ain't gonna be rosy and springtime and all of that, whatever. But them hard conversations, you need to have those. That's how you grow. You grow in them conversations.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that we have to have those tough conversations, man. Without those tough conversations, what are we really doing? Like, if we never talk about the things that are really, really important, and like how are we really moving and navigating if we never talking about the things that are important to us? Monica says, I've learned to do this, but if something sits heavy on me, I'm going to address it. The key is to address it appropriately and at the right time. And I've often said that with Monica, and I always use us because I can't talk about nobody else's situation without talking about mine. And I tell people all the time, I can always tell when something is not right with Monica. I can tell, but I give her time and space to bring it to me, talk about it. Cause some things I understand she just don't want to talk about. Cause I understand certain seasons bring about certain memories for her, and it might not be something she just want to talk about. But if it's something I've done, I know there's a difference in how she acts, and I wait on her to bring that to me because I don't want to speculate or just say, "Oh, you know." And half the time, I might not even know what it is that I've done, or So I have to let her bring it to me, and she has to bring that to me when it's right for her. Because if she bring it to me at a time that I'm not even, what I'm saying, I'm in a way. Whatever she said may not even fall on the right ears.
That timing is everything. See,
Yeah,
that sounds like
timing
a
is everything.
wise woman.
Yeah. So I've learned that with her over 33 years, 35 years. I've learned that with her. I've learned how to navigate through that and how that looks for us. And I learned to just give her space till she's ready to talk about it. When she's ready to talk about it, we talk about it. Now I'm different. I might not wait 3, 4, 5 days to talk about it. I might bring it up. Mel said, I think we all experienced this list. Oh yeah. Good morning, Joseph.
Hey man,
Yeah.
what's up, Joseph? Joseph and his wife's anniversary is today. I think it's 10 years, 9 or 10 years.
Well,
Happy
man,
anniversary.
happy anniversary, Joseph. Happy anniversary, man. To everybody who celebrated anniversary, man, birthday, or just have loved ones that have gone on that and people you were trying to remember. Man, shout out to you, man. Shout out. It's hard for me to move off this avoiding tough conversations because I think this is I just read Mr. Redwell's statement about effective communication, and avoiding tough conversations means that you're not communicating, period. Or well, I ain't gonna say period, but you're not communicating about the right stuff in some instances. And that could be just as bad as not communicating effectively if you're just not communicating about the right stuff.
I got a question, Tony. What's some examples of tough conversations? Because these could make or break a relationship.
Yeah, but I think if just like I talked about the text message, remember we talked about the text messages, and I told you how I got a text message from my ex in my phone, and Monica just happened to see it, but I was playing the game and I just swiped and kept going because it wasn't Like it wasn't important to me because I'm playing my game. But I didn't even know Monica even looking, and Monica saw it, and she thought maybe I don't know, maybe she felt I thought she was looking or something, and I swiped. I don't know, but that could be a tough conversation to have if I was actually guilty of something. That's a tough one. And it made her feel so it didn't now it wasn't a tough conversation for me, but it might have been for her to come bring that to me because it's something that she wanted to talk about and it affected her in a certain way. But for me, it wasn't a tough conversation because I knew it wasn't anything there.
I think my key takeaway from this is when it says silent habits, meaning
Mhm.
that this is something that can almost be ongoing because habits, that's habitual, meaning it is a pattern of thing that
Yeah.
one of these individuals could be doing. And I guess you got to do some self awareness with yourself. Like Mel was saying earlier, you can be, you be selfish, and you got to do some mirror reflection with yourself to make sure that you're not being silent as well. Because if you're silent, I believe this is why a lot of this stuff actually occurs.
I ain't laughing at you, LeVay.
What?
I'm laughing at Marka. Marka is crazy, bro. Joseph said, "Thank you all, much love." He said 11 years. God has been good. Yeah, well,
Man,
man.
y'all old as hell, bro. We've been knowing each other too long.
Well, congratulations, man, on 11 years. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Mark says, "Don't keep bringing up that example, babe. Yesterday was Miles' heavenly birthday, and tomorrow is Poo Poo birthday. Yep. Happy birthday to heavenly birthday to Miles, and remembering Miles and Cindy. And
You
all
can't be
those.
telling man what don't bring up this how you use the examples in your testimonies.
Yeah.
What we've been
Oh,
coming
she
at.
laughed behind it. She laughed behind it.
I know you play it.
Yeah, she laughed behind. So it's and I get what you're saying with this. I mean, habits are habits, but some of them, some of the habits that you do, like just say you one of those people, man, that every time you turn around, you just blowing gas. And for some people, that's nerve. Like man, every time you did, man, you can't go in the bathroom, and that could be a bad habit that irritates your partner. And it's a side. It's kind of like it's not one of those spoken things, but it's like they just find to tell you one day, look, man, can you go in the bathroom? I mean, that's really to be that I'm just saying, and it could be like we might be thinking it's funny or whatever, but it could really bother some people are like that. Like that bothers the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And we've had some of those conversations like that where we talked about maybe habits that or habit forming things that are kind of on the silent tip that kind of irritates you. And she said too much veil. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Jesus. Taking each other for granted. I definitely think that's the silent one.
Yeah, that could be silent.
That's real silent.
Mm-hmm.
Because we just automatically assume because you are our friend, you are our lover, you are our wife, husband, that some things are just automatic and like you automatically know I love you or care for you or you my no. I need to be like shown and expressed and because I don't want to feel like I'm just existing. My wife got this thing she do all the time when I come in and her and Pepper be here and I be like, hey Pepper, hey pretty girl, and she be like, hey, hey. So what she's saying in essence is, hey pretty Monica, hey, but she know like if I ignore Pepper like really loses it, like so. But I know what she's saying. I get what she's saying, but it's just it's one of those things. Like I don't never want to or her to feel like she's being taken for granted. like I don't appreciate her, and I think a lot of men probably feel like this more so than women at times because we the ones that we like women. Oh, he know I love him. He know but sometimes we feel like we just like y'all. We want to be told and showed, and it felt like we love too, or not take
Mhm.
it for granted.
I
And,
just had it. I just had one of these situations, Tony.
see,
Yeah, it was kind of it was a hard conversation too. And I'll share this. It was my wife works from home. So when you work from home, you don't dress up like you used to when you go to the office.
just get out the bed with your gown on, get
You
you some coffee, wash your
have a
face.
hair bonnet, scarf on, just do a sweatshirt on or something.
Right.
But it's two parts because I don't want to seem like I'm just picking on my wife. But the one part is I had to check myself one time because I know my wife was constantly making dinner, constantly taking care of these different things, and she do it consistently. And I had to really think about, okay, I can't just wait till birthdays or anniversaries to really show that appreciation. We got to do it, throughout the month, you know what I'm saying? Monthly or whatever it could be that works for y'all. And maybe, let's go out for a date, you know what I'm saying? Just to let you know, get away. You ain't got to cook tonight, that kind of stuff. Just don't take for granted expecting them to cook all the time. They get tired too.
Yep.
So that's something I got to work on. So I'll pick on myself with that and do better. But, conversations like these help reinforce that mindset.
Right.
But also too, it's like I said, man, working, I'm like, you act like you ain't got to look good for me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm
Mhm.
walking around this house, I want to see something too. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And you
I look
working from
good
home, walk
in there.
around there. Hey, but you still got your girls at the house though. So she probably one of them she might just can't get,
But
babe.
even
But
that, just put some clothes on and do your hair, you know what I'm saying? Instead of just, any
all I can
kind of
tell
way.
you,
So
all
sometimes
I can tell you,
I,
Marcus, is when you become an empty nester, stuff change a little bit, bro.
oh really?
Yeah, man. Monk could be walking through the house like just stark naked. I'd be
Don't do
like,
too much.
huh?
Don't do too much.
She do though, bro. Like she I'd be like, man, what is wrong with you? Like, man, look, I'm at home.
See, I'm laughing because that'd probably be me. But that part of taking each other for granted, you know what I'm saying? It's like I want to see something. It ain't got to be every day, but I want to see something when I walk past. You know what I'm
Right. I remember one day, bro. Marco was in the kitchen and she was stark naked, man. In the doorbell wrong.
saying? She was fast, was she?
Oh, man, she went to school down that kitchen that always so quick, bro. I said, uh-huh.
Hold on, let's
You
see.
never know when that doorbell go ring. Oh man, laughter is good for the soul. But taking each other for granted, bro, is definitely one of those silent habits that I think that will destroy a relationship or a marriage. If you do it, I mean, you got to. And I think number 2 and number 3 kind of go hand in hand, not expressing appreciation. Like you said, we have to show that. Like we appreciate you, and we are not just on anniversary, birthday, or Mother's Day or whatever. Like we got to do it all the time, and that's why, like, when it comes to gifts, and my wife gets stuff all the time, bro. Like, it, like that's I don't I like that ain't even to me like no way to express it no more. Unless like she getting an upgrade or a ring or something. She for that for sure. But other little gifts and stuff, like, cause she get them so much, like it's like, mm, she that's not like the big thing, is what I'm saying. For me, it don't feel like it. And I know she like getting stuff, you know. But Mel says she just loved the spontaneity. All don't have to be planned or announced. Yeah. I think the spontaneity in the two makes a difference. Like just randomly out of the blue. Monica's not big on like flowers and stuff. So me to come home with flowers, like she would rather have that change. Come in and just give me $400-500 of cash at me or something. That's her. You ain't gotta have them flowers. Them flowers gonna be dead, and you spent $200 on them flowers. You could have gave me that $200.
Man, what?
Yeah, so that's why I think we do have to show our expression appreciation, and that works both ways. Women, men like to be showed some appreciation too, or at least told that you appreciate us, because Monica tells me that all the time. Like she really appreciate me and what I've done and all. She tells me all the time. So that's one of those things. Like I'm not lacking in that area because she tells me that all the time. This was one of them things. Number 4 is one of those things Lavelle and I had to seriously work on.
Ooh.
And Marcus, because I think Marcus mentioned this, that he was shut down. And this is one of those things that me and Lavelle made a pact when we started, that we weren't gonna shut down no more. We were gonna deal with whatever comes our way and not just shut down, because I had it bad. If I didn't want to talk about it, Marcus, I'm cutting it off. Man, you miss me. I don't buy my beer.
I can't say I got that part that bad, because I think you said it too, Tony. I said if I got something bothering me, I'm gonna talk about it. But I think I shut down. Like if you bring in something and
that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that. Like if you bring in some, and I feel like it's because I used to feel like certain stuff was just nonsense. Like, man, you just trying to bring some stuff, And so when you brought when that stuff was brought, I felt like, man, I ain't trying to hear that. And I'm shutting down. I'm going on. I don't want to talk about it. Don't bring it up no more, And then I started thinking, really. So this is one of them new growth things for me and Lavelle. Because like I said, we just made this pact like a year or so ago that we wasn't going to shut down like that anymore. So it was at that point that I really started to say, well, if it bothers her, let me listen to why it bothers. And so I had to kind of go that route and say, well, let me listen. Let me see. Because even though you feeling like, man, it's bothering that person. So let me see why it bothers them so much. And then you may hear and say, oh, I totally get that. I understand that. So I had to quit like getting or taking my anger and balling it up and saying, we ain't talking about that. Now the resentment, like I don't think I operate or never really have operated in resentment, but just anger, yeah. But I ain't never like that. The resentment part was never really a factor in it at all.
Right. We have to understand this as well, that this word silent is the same letters that for listen. So there's good habits and bad habits. So even though it's silent, something is still listening. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I think we have to, when you say that shutdown process, that's dangerous, and it's good we did that.
Yeah. Mel says, okay, Monica Mays want them munions. Me too. But I do love flowers, and yes, we spoil our men too. The right ones do. Yeah, because not all women spoil men. Y'all feel like we supposed to do it. Monica said you should talk through the things that bother you, but if your tone and timing is off, the whole conversation could be disastrous. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
I think timing timing is just as important as just how you communicate itself. I think timing has a lot to do with how people respond a lot of times in conversation. You know, because I mean, if I just lost a loved one, right, that was very dear to me and I'm hurting, you to come tell me you saw a text message in my phone from it might not be a good time.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Cause I'm probably gonna lose it. You know. So I think timing is everything. And we just have to look at every situation, look at timing, look at I think we have to try to look ahead and see what the possible impact of us having that conversation right now could be. And that's something I think a lot of us don't really look at like that.
You know, a funny one is like if somebody say they tired, get flat or something, and you be like, "Did you tithe?" You know, stuff like that. You know what I mean? That ain't good timing. People going through something. You know,
Right?
Don't worry about the tithing right there at that moment.
or just like you just said, they walking around. You know, they walking around with some bad tires. You had already said you need some new tires. Then also they have a blowout and they call you. I need you to come fix my flat. If you had got some new, that ain't good timing.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
That's what we do.
That's a hard one for me.
we jump right in there. If you had got them tires, man, you ain't. Cause I'm guilty of that. I'm just gonna say that. I'm guilty. I'm guilty.
I'm gonna give you an example. My daughter, she I rode with my daughter. I got my daughter a vehicle, nice car, everything. You know, she ain't gotta pay for it. She just gotta make sure you got gas, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, this girl, I'm riding with her. She riding next to cars like this on the behind her, driving. I'm like, you cannot be that close to cars. You got to see the back of the tires. Keep yourself some distance.
Right.
Guess what happened? She riding too close, ran right in the back of somebody. First thing come to my mind, how many times I done told you?
Yeah.
But she distraught, but I wanted to make sure she was okay first. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then I did say that.
I made sure she was okay.
Right.
Yeah. But it probably it was like an aha moment probably for her too, you know. But it was one of those things as a parent. I think see you kind of I was gonna say that I normally do this most of the time when I say it's hard for me. Like it's in the parental situations when I'm talking to them boys, basically. Because I'm getting on them about something I already told them, and then they do it. I'm like, man, I told you, you know, and they probably don't want to hear it, but it's like when I was young, and my mom used to always tell me stuff like, put your money up, save your money, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, I don't hear that. Then I go, Mom, I need to borrow $40. Then I had to hear the speech. Just one, you got it, man. One day my stepdad said it for me. He said, my mom was so mad. He said, baby, just give the boy the money. You're going to give it to him anyway. You don't have to hear all that. Well, my mama said, hell, you shut the hell up. This is my money.
Man. Let me just mention my mom real quick. I told my mom, we got our house. We got a house. I was telling her, I was like, Mom, you got any savings? Not to tell her business, but I'm like, you got to have at least $1,000 or something put away in case something happens when you get this house. I was like, might as well rent. Because it's going to be an issue with a house. I don't care what house, it's brand new, whatever.
Right.
And that's speaking as a realtor. Every house got some type of issue. And lo and behold, we end up getting at a house. And guess what? Some minor popped up. She was like, I don't need that money. I got kids. I'm like, really? I was like, I was saying it for myself because I know it's going to come up. So we can save our own money. But it's just some people, they ain't trying to hear that.
Right.
I think you guys, I was just reading these while y'all was talking. These, and I'm just trying to keep it 100. These opportunities are a whole lot more difficult for men simply because we're supposed to be the leadership, like you said earlier. We're supposed to be the man. We're supposed to have this, this thing, macho, ego type thing. And then at the same time, you want to try to, display some of that sensitive side of who you are, and be nice. And so we don't know which spectrum we can never come on in these opportunities, because if we come off too harsh, then we wrong. If we too sensitive, trying to be silent about a certain thing, be sensitive, if you will, then why you acting all like that? So it's like we stuck.
Yeah, we sassy and all that shit. I can't stand it.
So some of the stuff, I ain't saying it ain't the same for women, but with men, it's a whole lot more difficult because we got to play these. We don't know which hat we got to put on at what particular time dealing with these action points. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You don't know which bag to come out of. So it's like you playing double dutch.
Yeah. And I do think this, just looking at some of these silent habits, that some of these pertain probably more so to men and some to women, and some more to women than to men. Just depending on, and then some it just hit both genders, equally.
Right.
So I think the bottling up the anger and the resentment part a lot of times is the men, because we are shut down, because you put us in, we feel like the woman has put us in a situation or put us in a predicament to where we don't want to talk about that thing that she want to talk about. But moving on, number 5, prioritizing everything over your partner. Ooh.
Yeah.
I see this a lot when it comes to outside relationships.
Yeah.
Like you got your spouse, but you always run over there doing stuff for your mama and leaving your spouse hanging. You always run over there helping your sister, your brother, your cousin, your auntie, your grandmama, and your spouse saying, what about the stuff I asked you? It's like we leave them hanging to go and run and take care of everybody else. Everybody else is more important than our partner.
But not just that. I mean, I have to put myself in check sometimes because I'm so passionate about what I do as far as my business is concerned, and I'm the only one responsible for what I do. I mean, my wife supports me, but I got to make sure that at any given time I got to be able to deliver, because it can be that one wrong situation, and it can be something that can make your business look bad. And so I think sometimes, and I'm just being transparent, sometimes I over engulf myself and I have to put myself in check and kind of pull away sometimes.
But that's you. And see, I love that because that's self-awareness. That's understanding that I put my wife in a situation where I prioritize my business over her, and I need to step back and realize that my wife is a priority too.
Right.
So that I love the fact that you're self-aware in that instance where you realize that, sometimes I get too engulfed and put too much emphasis on my business as opposed to my wife, and not just your wife, but your wife, your kids, it's other things that's more significant, that, and sometimes we kind of put it on the back burner. We prioritize everything else over them.
I think a key word on there is everything. I think some stuff like that work. I can't take care of you if I don't handle this.
But that'd be great point, Mark. This a thought process I be thinking. I'm like, I'm going so hard. I ain't doing it just for me. I'm doing this for all three of y'all.
Yeah, but it's almost like look at this, because so we all godly men. Let's look at it this way. Where we always putting everything before God. Everything. And he said, I'm a jealous God. Like, you just put everything before me, I'm an afterthought. And that's how we do in relationships sometimes. Everything, like you said, Mark, that keyword, everything. It's not just the job. It's you put everything. You prioritize everything over your partner or mate or your friend or your, everything. And that's when it becomes, I think, really a silent habit that destroy your relationship. When you place everything over.
I don't even know what that looks like. How can you put everything over your partner?
You got people that do that, bro.
That's wild to me.
I think that's when you have, because I've seen situations where, matter of fact, Lavelle, we even talked about it, where this woman had got so engulfed in her career, her what was going on, that everything else played second fiddle to whatever she had going on as it relates to her career. And if it wasn't about her and her career, like, it didn't mean nothing. And she lost her husband. Matter of fact, she lost more than that, because after her husband moved on and found him another wife, this woman ended up getting cancer. And the career and all that stuff went down because she couldn't even she was so weak she couldn't go to work. And it was the husband who had to move on that says, I'll come help care for you. She still had to come back and reach out to this man, because nobody else, all these so-called friends and stuff that was encouraging her to leave him and, girl, your career, none of them friends wouldn't come over there and wipe her tail when she couldn't wipe her own tail.
That sounds like a Tyler Perry movie.
Bro, that was a real life situation. And she said she was so upset because she looked back and she looked at the man's life, and he was happy with his new wife and they was doing good and all that, and she felt like she was lost because she put her career, she put her education, she put her friends, she put everything before this dude.
Yeah, that's a bit excessive there when you really think about that, because that means you like.
But that's what we talking about. Everything. When you prioritize everything over your mate or your partner or your friend, that's what happens. And that's what she did. Her career came first. Her education came first. Her friends came first. Everybody came first. Until she pushed him out the door because she said, oh, I make more than you now. I do this, I do that. And he said, okay. He was hurt, but he moved on with his life. He got married. And then all of a sudden, the guy that she was supposedly dating, that was making the good money, all this, when she told him that she was diagnosed with cancer, bam, he gone. He out the door. All the friends, we gonna support you. But when she couldn't support herself and she was too weak to take care of herself, no friend showed up, nobody. It was the man who she used to be married to that said, I'll come by and check on you and make sure you bring your stuff, take care of you, just to help you out as a friend. Because even though I done moved on, I still feel sorry for you.
That's crazy. I think what Mel said right here is very, very key. He said, learn how to balance is important. No one wants to feel second. Balance is everything.
Amen, Mel.
Man.
What shall it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul mate?
Lose his soul.
Soul mate.
You put another one in there.
Lose his soul mate. Mel says, sir, I've seen it. They lost a great thing because of it, sir. I'm telling you. you get a person that puts more into everything else, and you become second fiddle to everything. Who gonna sit around for that, bro?
Right. I got a personal testimony for myself personally, thinking about your situation. You just shared. That's one thing I thank God for my wife about, because a lot of folks, were saying, y'all marriage ain't gonna make it because Dunn make more money and she got a career, she got degrees. Dunn has never thrown it up in my face, bro. Never, ever. We've been married, gonna be 24 years, and and she's so humble to the fact of that she don't even talk about her accomplishments, if you will. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is what I got to do anyway. I'm thankful that I have them, but this is just what it is. And some very close special family members, if you want to call them special, literally like, man, look, it just ain't gonna work. You ain't got no degree. You know what I'm saying? Your job is if you will. And it's like it's like the Lord kept blessing us right in front of them folks' eyes.
Mhm.
Amen.
It be the outside sources that'll try to tear you down quicker than anybody else, because they worried about your situation more than you worried about your situation. Whereas you like, and I told you early on, I said, Lavelle, don't F that up. I told you, I said, don't F that up. I said, he said, what you talking about? I said, don't F that up with Dunn, bro. I said, that woman love you. And he was like, I said, think about it, Lavelle. You ain't got it to offer this woman, but yourself and your love, and she ain't never knocked you for that. I said, man, you better run with it. You got you one, and he ain't never looked back. I
How
told
long?
him,
How
I said,
long?
man, that woman love you. When you got a woman, bro, that does not judge you by what your pockets look like, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout me and Monica's marriage, bro, or our relationship period, throughout these 35 years, there's been some ups and downs. There's been some time where I made more than her. Then there's been time where she made more than me. It's been time where I carried the load. It's been time where she carried the load. We ain't never like,
Same with me.
I'm one making all the money now. No, we never ever put that like on each other. Like, cause it was for us, it was always ours, regardless of who made what.
Right.
So
yeah,
it was never one of those things. That's why I have an issue when I see stories now about marriages where people are saying, oh, just like the guy that was married and finna take the baby mama on vacation.
That's great.
He didn't bought that. He didn't bought and did all that out of his so-called account. So she's saying, well, I'm finna go over here and I'm gonna buy a ticket, a plane ticket, and take the kids and my baby daddy on a trip, and we gonna go. You know what I'm saying? You this would never happen if you got have a joint account. You went because you be like, you ain't taking our money to go buy the baby mama no vacation,
That may be one to add right there, Tony. Number 13, playing get back.
They get back. Yep.
Silent get backs.
Bro, this is crazy because we're not gonna make it through this list before the time is up.
Oh no. I already knew that.
Right.
We're not gonna make it through. And this is crazy because we have, when we do stuff like this where we put up lists and stuff, sometimes we make it through the list, and most of the time we don't, because especially when you're talking about something like this, where when it's talking about relationships and marriages, or just any kind of relationship period, bro, the stuff that we do sometimes, we sabotage our own relationship sometimes.
We
I mean, it's self-sabotage, because all of these things, man, and we putting all these things out here to try to help people relationship be better, so you can make you aware. Just like Marcus said, this therapy for me, because y'all helping like me it's reaffirm stuff, or even the stuff that I ain't thought about doing that I need to do. It's therapy. And I've heard a lot of men that have told me this more so lately than the women, that, man, y'all show is like therapy for me.
It's good.
And it ain't something that we set out to do, because all our goal is to just help people become better versions of themselves. And if that means that looks like therapy, then that's what it is. But all we want to do is we want people to be better, because the only way the world gonna get better, man, is people start to change their thought process, their mind, their thought process, and how we react and do stuff. Everything shouldn't be about to get back. Everything, it's like we gotta take the time, take some thought, some consideration, and look at stuff and address it, and then it makes us better. So when we throw up stuff like silent habits that destroy your marriage or relationship, what we're telling you is, look at these things and do like Lavelle said, do a self-evaluation and see where you fall at. and see if these are things that's affecting your relationship. Because if it's affecting your relationship, and you might have one of those situations where your spouse is not a talkative person and don't really express or share because they never been given that space to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times men have never really been given that space to do so, to be vulnerable, to share. And that's why we don't. And that's why you can't, as women, when a man shows you his vulnerability and he opens up to you, don't shut him down, or don't say, "Oh, you acting sassy, you acting like a woman complaining," because that's one way you'll never get him to say nothing else again.
Yep.
Never.
It's almost like a counseling session for marriage.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, but he won't. You know, and women got this thing, bro. When they cut deep. You being told them some of your innermost thoughts and stuff that have gone on, and soon they get mad at you, they throw it back up in your face, or they go tell their girlfriend, and then they looking at you and they saying stuff, and they, "Oh, you girl, you." That's why it didn't. Or you get mad at the friend holler, "That's why your girl told me, man, you can't even get up in bed." What? You know what I'm saying? So, and at that point, the man, he didn't shut down. He ain't never, like, you ain't got to worry about that no more.
I saw some. This is off the wall. I'm about to throw this out here. I saw some online where this woman said, she was like, "I ate your groceries. You can't tell me nothing."
What the hell?
That's off the wall.
It's way off the wall.
But that's the stuff.
But
That's
she was
the
like,
stuff.
she threw it back at him. She was like, "You can't ever
Yeah.
tell me nothing."
But that's the stuff that men. That's why a lot of men will shut down or stray away from being transparent and sharing, or being showing those vulnerable sides of them, because they, in the back of their mind, is she gonna try to expose me if if this don't work or whatever.
Yeah.
That's why you got to know who you with too, because sometimes I don't know with me as a man, and maybe y'all can help me with this, but I know when certain things is going on, that's pressure situations where I got to handle it as a man in the household or whatever, or if it's some stuff that's heavy. Sometimes I just keep that to myself. I don't necessarily share that because I don't want her to carry it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know how to really do that completely, because I feel like I'm gonna just handle this. I'm in my zone. I'm gonna just handle it. Me sharing her this, it's not necessarily gonna benefit everything. I don't need her worried about something when I'm worried about it.
It's just like I said earlier, it's a stigma to the point. Like I said, that's why I said this list is more harder for us, because it's a stigma to the point of where we think that we're supposed to do it, because that's what generationally that's what we always saw men do. And I think it's why you have a lot of men who suffer in silence, if you will, because they want to try to triumph everything and try to make sure everything is working. And that's the blessing when you have a mate and have somebody that's just there for you and with you, to be able to share those moments together. And you shouldn't put that jacket on your back like that. You know what I'm saying? Even like with me and Tony, you know what I'm saying? We have conversation together and have some accountability conversations, if you will, so we can let some of that weight up off of us, because you'd be right here, man, damn, about to do something to yourself.
Yeah.
Plug me in, fellas.
I definitely agree with what Lavelle said, because if you have somebody that you trust, you love, that you should want to share, regardless of how you feel or what kind of weight it is. Now you got somebody to share with it that can help support you through that situation while you carry it. And this is what it's gonna do as well, Marcus. When you share with her whatever that thing is, and you trust her to support you in that thing, you saying, "Baby, I got it, but I want you to know what's going on." She's saying, "Wow, you showing her a side that you ain't never showed her. Like, yeah, it's an issue. He got it though, but now he ain't never shared nothing like that with me. That he get, it goes a long way, bro, in the relationship. And now, man, it's like, but it's different. When I tell you, when you start to share, you start to talk, and you start to do stuff, bro. Even when you start to get intimate, bro, it exudes through that intimacy, bro. Like it shows up because it's like I can't even explain it, bro. Like when you see a flower just open up and bloom, like they show you to you, like a flower takes a long time to bloom, but they do that speed time where they got a camera on the flower and they watch it and they speed it up and they like it's blooming. That's how it feels in a relationship. Like that thing just bloomed and opened up right before your eyes because you didn't share, you shared, and now you don't have to carry that burden all by yourself. So I think it's important to share regardless of how you feel. Like I don't even want her worrying about it. It might not be that. It's that I got that support system. She understands what's going on, what I'm doing, and it'll help you probably deal with some situations better. Cause you ain't trying to hide it, cover it up, and she know what's going on.
Right.
It's just like you have 25 years in, you just get used to doing something, So
right.
I think it comes from also watching my father, just handle stuff.
Right. Even scripturally,
man, your dad is a different breed, bro.
Yeah, it's I saw it, I watched.
Your dad is a different breed, bro. And even that, if you talk to your conversations that you probably had 20 years ago with your dad versus a conversation now, totally different.
Yeah. But look, guys,
I've had conversations with your dad long time ago, and I'd be like, man, I want to slap this dude, punch this dude.
Not slap him.
I think he felt the same about you.
I'm telling you, like, cause we used to have those, and then you talk to him now, and it's because of that foundation. If you listen to him now, they going to church, he in the men's choir, singing, doing stuff. That closest, man, that relationship with God, man, will change you, bro. Big and time, now your conversation's even different. And we have a conversation now, man, it'd be like, oh, okay, oh yeah, man, yeah, that's true. Cause he used to come on our show all the time and drop hard nuggets in the Lavelle.
Yep. We missed him. We ain't been on in a while.
Yeah, he used to come on here and drop them nuggets, man. He'd be like, man, oh boy, you there. Come on now. So
but I ain't see that. I gotta go back, check that out.
I'm telling you, bro, like this was early on. You gotta go way back, man.
You gotta go. He was on the phone. He was a lot of time. We was using our phones.
Yeah, but he's to jump on mine and drop some nuggets, bro. Like we used to be like, damn,
Yeah.
And you can tell that it was straight growth in him being married so long, and the growth that he's come through, and the stuff that he's experienced. And he even used to say, like, I used to do songs, but now, like, now, and I think he even talks about like dating his wife. Like we had to go out and just go dancing or something, stuff like that. And so those were things like that. He would just come through and just drop things, like drop the mic and walk in, or like walk away, from the show, So I think, man, that's growth plays a beautiful part in relationships, man. And when you can grow together and grow in grace, I think when your mindset changes, and when your mindset changes, and that's why I'm telling you, bro, like don't harbor that stuff or hold that stuff, because you're saying you don't want a burden or put that burden on her. But I think you're not necessarily passing the burden just because you tell her. I think you just more so adding another layer of support to the situation.
It ain't help.
You can feel comfortable in navigating through the situation without having to walk on eggshells.
Yep. So, but I was thinking as you guys were talking, and it's crazy how, scripturally, when we think about the act of, when Adam and Eve, sinned or whatever, that weight was like right put on the man. It was the man's fault because, what Satan did, so that particular stigma, spirit whatever you want to call it, has followed me just through scripture to the point to where we don't even want to release that particular thought process. That it's the man's fault. I mean, it's crazy how that works, and I don't necessarily think that's how it was supposed to, portray. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the man's fault. It was a thing that happened that
No,
God
it
was.
was his fault. It was his fault. It was his fault because God had specifically left Adam in charge and told Adam not to do that. And so as Adam, just like he came back and told Adam was naked and trying to cover himself and leave, he said, what you hide from me for? Because I'm naked. Who told you was naked?
Hmm.
Who
But what I'm
told you
saying
you
is,
was naked?
but what I'm saying is, it's amazing how that particular thought process has followed
Yeah,
the whole thought
that's
process.
because that's still Old Testament, and we ain't brought it up to the New Testament yet. We ain't even brought Jesus on the scene yet. So we still talking about what Adam and Eve did in the garden, and what about what Jesus did
Right.
at the
Right.
cross?
Mm-hmm.
What about what Jesus did on the cross?
Right.
So, and if you think about it like that, well, we don't continue have to. Yeah, I don't care if it is my fault.
That's kind of what I'm saying. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't care if it is my fault. What I'm saying is, let me share this with my mate, because what is finna happen, I got to carry. I'm trying to sneak around and carry this, and because I don't want her to worry about it. And I guess that's one of those situations. Like, I guess I never had that kind of mindset, because I always try to share the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever, because I didn't want it to really come to a head, or at least I wanted some support in the situation.
But I respect how Marcus feel, because in some cases when you do that, you're doing it in the sense of like you're helping that person. You know what I'm saying? So I get it, but at the same time, it's like it's a two-way street. You helping and hindering at the same time.
Right.
So
You
I
helping
get it.
that person by you saying, I'm not gonna pass, that particular burden on to that person. But what is that doing for you? Because now you running around trying to keep stuff a secret, walk on eggshell because you don't want to affect, and it's tearing you up. When you can share that and have extra support in that situation, or either a person is saying, Lord, my husband, what my husband is going through, he's bearing, Lord, allow him to go. Well, you got somebody praying for you.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man,
Ooh-wee.
we gotta let it go, man. It's hard to let it go. It is hard to let it go, bro. We only got through 5. So I guess we got to run this back tomorrow. We're gonna have to run this back tomorrow, so we can try to get through the other 7.
This thing, it's a lot of meat on this plate, Doc.
Yeah. And I think what this list does too is it helps expose the vulnerability in both parties, bro. Like the male and the female in this whole scenario. It exposes the vulnerability of both sides, because if it's silent, you necessarily ain't really addressing it. These are things that's just affecting you, but you ain't really addressed it. And what we're saying, what all 3 of us are saying is, these silent habits will destroy your relationship. So you have to talk about them and address them. You have to have those, what you call, Marcus, those hard conversations, the tough conversations. Because that's the only way your relationship is going to be able to withstand the test of the silent habits that can destroy your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like Lavelle said, it's a lot of meat on this bone. But we're gonna run it back tomorrow. We're gonna get through it some kind of way. Where y'all at?
Now, I want to say Happy Memorial Day to y'all too. I like how we got this information on here too.
Yeah, you know
No,
that's
I mean
Lavelle.
personally, I got to take off.
That's Lavelle. Jackie Lee said, "Where y'all at?"
I don't know who that is.
Marcus is in Detroit, on the outskirts of Detroit. Lavelle is in Bougieville, and I'm in the hood. I guess that's what that person acted out though.
I have no clue.
All right, so we're gonna run it back again tomorrow, man, and hopefully this the first part of this has helped people kind of really understand and really kind of think and start to navigate, helps navigate you through your relationships or marriages or friendships or whatever. Because again, I think this is these silent habits can be applicable in friendships as well. Because these could be things in friendships, man, like not expressing appreciation. You know, you got a friend that's always there, or taking that friend for granted, you know, or just avoiding tough conversations with your friends, prioritizing everything over your friend. These things that can apply to friendships as well as relationships.
Right. Well, I want to give appreciation that I used Tony May's amazing home services this past weekend. You can't see it, but he came over and hung a TV in my office upstairs, and he did a magnificent job. So if you need some work done around the house, don't feel too shorted to call my friend Tony Mays. He'll come in and make your house be amazing.
I do it.
Gifted. That man gifted with his hands.
Yes, sir. He got amazing hands.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been down at the church, man, for the last few months, man. I've installed 6 TVs, lights, camera equipment. I've been doing it all down there. Like I just set up a whole
media ministry.
Yeah, I've been doing it all down there, man. So just trying to. My thing was I didn't want the church to have to experience or have cost that a lot of times. See, Bali used to always say this, and he said, you know, how do y'all think big church? He said, y'all think big churches. He said, big churches. One time he had a form he put out, and he wanted to know everything about like what people did for a living and all that stuff, right? And some people like they was murmuring, I ain't gonna know, they don't even know all my business and what I do. And it wasn't that. He was trying to figure out, like, hey, how can your skill set work in the church? How can you use your skill set in the church? And every time we had any kind of construction project or something that they were working on, my pastor always threw out my name. He said, we got Elder May. Elder May can do all that stuff. Why are we paying somebody else to do this when we got Elder May can do it? We can get him. We're gonna pay somebody, let's pay him. You know. And so for years, but anyway, so I ain't even asked to be paid for none of this stuff. I just want the church to not have to incur that expense. And you know, this is something that we don't have to do. So anyway.
Monica's so silly.
What she say?
Because you definitely got some amazing hands. You better use them, Doc. Use them, Doc. Use them hands, man.
That's good, crazy, bro. Crazy, man. But shout out to, again, a happy Memorial Day to all. Shout out to all that have experienced, and we all have experienced our loved ones that have gone on, and we're trying to remember all of those beautiful souls that have gone on. And this sometimes this is a tough day for a lot of people. Trying to remember loved ones, stuff like that. It's a tough day. So we definitely want to send out our prayers for those who are struggling on a day like today, just kind of going through, and just know that you are in our thoughts and in our prayers.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have the tea for the day. When I looked, she hadn't created one for the day. So we didn't have the tea, but I felt like we had enough information to cover us through the tea, even if we didn't have the tea. Shout out again to the kids starting to get out for school. Shout out to all the children that
Right.
be out for the summer. All those ones who have made amazing grades through the year. And did well on their report cards. Let's keep our children prayed up and lifted up for the summer, man. It's so much. It's more children than activities to do.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, we got way more children that's hitting the streets. And you got to understand the parents are still having to go to work, and these children at home getting into any and everything. So let's be in prayer for our children, man, that they would govern themselves in a way that's indicative of young men and women that they are. So,
Man, you dropped something so heavy. That man said you got more cheering than we got activity.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And you got to think Trump, he counseled, he took funding from a lot of organizations that were using that funding for summer activities and stuff for the youth. And he snatched that money, that federal funding. So that hurts a lot of organizations. Either he snatched it or he held up funding. So, all right, we got to get out of here. Marcus, you gonna join us tomorrow? I'm
gonna try my best tomorrow. I got a couple of things going on real estate wise.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you can't, we understand. We're gonna still get through it tomorrow. We got who washing dishes?
My daughter. My daughter.
Marcus says you hear them dishes clanking. Well, that's just like a woman. They can hear them clicking.
I didn't even pay no attention to it.
So we will see you guys tomorrow, man. And hopefully, if Marcus can join us tomorrow, that's great. If not, we're gonna get through it. Try to get through these last 7 on this list. The silent habits that destroy relationships or marriages, or friendships, or whatever, just relationships in general. And so we thank you again, Marcus, as usual. And we just try to. I was hoping Ralph could be on this morning so we can give y'all a preview, kind of like what the gentleman's round table was going to be like. But I guess Ralph couldn't be on this morning. But he's definitely interested in the gentleman's round table, or whatever we decide we want to call it. That we're going to do one day a week in the week, during the week. And so it won't be an everyday thing. So we'll have a whole week to the next week to build up to what that topic gonna be and how we're gonna navigate through it. And so we excited about that. I know I'm excited about it. I can't wait to see what it comes out to be, man. And there's a couple of other people, man, that I want to kind of add in the mix. I want to talk to Lavelle about. Or if y'all know somebody, Marcus, you or Ralph know somebody that just in a different spotlight that that can add some value to conversations and what we talk about. We want to be at that, because I got a couple of guys on mine, from Damian Peck to Christopher Broom to others that I know that could add some value to like this happening.
Yeah, I know Doctor want to be in on this.
Yeah, so I just don't want it to be limited to just just 2 or 3 people. Like, I want multiple guys, because it might be days that when we do it that Lavelle can't be on. He got a gig. Marcus might have a real estate showing that where we still got other guys can pop in there and be like, yeah, man, it's what it is. So I just want it to be, when you talk about Sir Lancelot and the Knights of the Round Table, it wasn't no 3 or 4. They had a whole round table, 12. I think it was 12 of them, 12 knights. So not saying that we got to have 12 guys, but it would be nice. She said, Vale, come up with a creative name with acronyms. Man, GRT, Gentlemen's Round Table. We're gonna call it GRT.
Great.
I think y'all should give the ladies a day.
That would be your responsibility, Monica. That's not ours. We talking about me.
Why don't Monica Mays come up with her own podcast with the women? How about that?
Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
Great minds think alike.
I think you should do that because Monica has a lot to say, even though Monica used to be like one of the quietest people ever, but Monica got a lot to say. She have a lot of thoughts on stuff.
It'd be nice for the round table to meet the ladies' round table. You know what I mean, and have a back and forth. In the Lord.
Boy. Anyway.
Don't y'all do too much.
Don't y'all do too much, because that sounds like, man. I can see Monica round table with a whole bunch of ghetto women. I can see. I don't want to say ghetto. I don't want to call these women ghetto, but I'm gonna say feisty women.
Yeah, that's better.
See people like Brene on there.
He said that's better.
I can see some feisty women on there though. Don't do too much round table.
I'm just thinking, why not us three have our wives pop up sometimes? You know what I'm saying?
We've been saying we're gonna do this for the long. We ain't done it yet though.
I'll bring my wife. I'm sure she'll pop in.
Oh yeah. Dog jumped in one time. All at the.
She around here listening anyway.
It's probably gonna be like an act of Congress to get done on. Done don't just when she got something to say though, she got something to say.
Mm-hmm.
That Monica jump on. Monica been on. Monica did hosted before. She done been on. So Monica talk. But
she the one in charge anyway.
Yeah. So we are planning, and y'all, we really done with the show. We just talking now. We are planning. Lavelle and I are planning a couples. That's what we need to narrow down, Lavelle. We need to narrow down the place. Make sure we can lock in the place. Because once we lock in the place, then we can lock in the couples. But we want to do a couple like we did the single panel, couple panel. And Mark is like, y'all can definitely tune in. You and your wife can jump on from a distance, and we can bring y'all on from a distance and have y'all on.
What you mean from like the location?
It's perfect for the couples panel.
Huh?
Y'all talking about like on vacation?
No, we're gonna do the thing, and we saying that y'all can jump on like through the live, because we gonna have the couples gonna be live in a spot, but y'all can jump on live. Yeah, we can have y'all if y'all can't physically be in Memphis,
Okay.
Unless you want to fly to Detroit, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You might be, balling like they could.
Now he'll drive down there.
Oh, okay.
He'll drive down there, but now,
y'all come on. Y'all come jump in that pool over there.
That'd be hard to get 5-6 couples to come all the way to Detroit.
Yeah.
It's cold, but come on.
Yeah. We don't do cold weather. Every time it seems like every time me and Monica come up to Toledo and Detroit, it snow on us every time.
Wow.
They say we bring the snow with us. Yep. All right. Anyway, that's all we have for today, guys. We will see y'all tomorrow morning, bright and early at 8 a.m. Man. It's your host with the most, Tony May Lavelle, started with our special guest today, Mr. Marcus Young, realtor extraordinaire. And so we're gonna continue this conversation tomorrow, man. Same bad time, same bad place. One of y'all gentlemen close us out with the prayer.
I think Marcus would be very good. He look like he want to pray. He look like he want to petition the throne.
All right, let's pray, fellas. Lord, we just come to you right now, God, in the name of Jesus. Just want to say thank you. Thank you for all the words that was said to help every relationship, God. And we also, too, Lord, on this Memorial Day, just want to once again mention, like Tony did, Lord, all those that may be missing a loved one. And we want to remember all of the things that they endured and all of the things they did for this nation, God. And we bless you, Lord. We ask that you bless these men, these two men in hats, and bless this podcast, Lord, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Man, we'll see y'all in the morning. Same bad time.
Same bad place.
Yes, sir.
2 men in hats. Let's talk about it.
It's the 2 Minute Hats podcast with your hosts with the most, Tony and Lavelle. Every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock That He Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. Too Many Hats Podcast.